Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this full moon in Leo video. I will start by saying that it is a particularly strong full moon, given that it is in the sign of Leo, symbolized by the Strength card in the tarot deck. So, if we're looking at the full moon in and of itself, right, it symbolizes a peak of energetic expression, very high energy frequency. And that is, in a way, symbolized by fire, right? The fire element. So when you take the full moon and you put it in the sign of Leo, which is a fire sign, you get very strong energy flow. So, and because it relates to the moon, this can speak to our emotions, our emotional self, right? Feeling a lot of emotion, feeling a lot of fire energy within us. And I believe it's absolutely imperative that you that you harness and express this fire energy in such a way that is healthy, right? That is that makes for the proper expression and use of that fire energy, right? So absolutely, I would engage in fire activities like exercise, sweating. It's so important to sweat, right? Walks are great, but to actually get that fire burning, right? Think about fire. Think about a fireplace. Think about a campfire when you're looking into the fire pit, right? What do you feel? What do you sense? That's the sort of energetic expression that I think is important to mimic during this time, right? Because fire energy that's left to sort of broil inside of us can lead to these sort of other way of expressing fire energy, the other side of fire energy, right? Because every element has its positive manifestation and its negative manifestation, so to speak, negative. So, so if we're looking at fire energy, right, it speaks to pride, strength, resilience, right? The initiative, the courage that it takes to move forward in a certain direction. It speaks to presentation, right, of the self. Namely, if we're looking at the Strength card, we very much see that sort of feeling, right, that's emanated from the card. But that manifestation, right, of energy can also, when not properly harnessed and utilized and expressed in a healthy way, can lead to its other form of expression, right? Which sometimes can lead to feelings of anger, right? Feeling just at your boiling point, feeling, sometimes it can also lead to an expression of in some ways, right? It depends, but, and we see this also with the Strength card, it can also symbolize a potential sort of feeling of, I don't want to say arrogance, but somewhat of an overcompensation of that feeling of pride, of power, of, right? So it's this fine line between the positive wielding of fire energy and that which is not conducive, right, to our ultimate desire to manifest and create. Too much fire growing wildly out of control can destroy, right, as we see on the Tower card of the tarot deck. But fire, when tempered appropriately, when contained and channeled in a way that is truly positive, truly conducive, ultimately leads to creation, right? Fire being a very creative element to work with. So having said that, right, it's a beautiful time during this full moon in Leo to assess, right, how we wield our fire energy. Everybody has fire energy. Everyone has fire energy. Some people more than others, right, depending on the planetary placements in your chart, right? And if you don't know the planetary placements in your chart, I have a service on my website, alchemyandyou.com. You can click that. It's an astrological chart report and interpretation. You'll get a feel for your elemental composition as a whole. But regardless of that, everybody has fire. Everybody has a certain level of fire. So this is a beautiful time, again, to take a step back and think about how are we exerting our will, right? Is it in a healthy way for ourselves and for others? Is it being channeled in a way that's helping us create, right? Or is it inhibiting us? Is it sabotaging our growth in some sort of way, right? So to speak. So, full moon is oftentimes a period of fruition of whatever seed or intention we planted during the new moon period. And I will say this, right? In a month, we have one new moon and we have one full moon. But that's the micro cycle. There's also a macro cycle in terms of the year. So what it means is, yes, within every month, right, you have a new moon, you set an intention, it's a brand new slate, right? Taking advantage of those very fertile energies, which then in some shape or form culminates, brings illumination and fruition at the full moon in the same month. But when looking at the macro sort of stage of manifestation, right, we look at the yearly cycle. We look at the new moon in that year that corresponds to the full moon in that year, both within the same sign. So it means the new moon in Leo, which was 6 months ago, because they are always corresponding within a 6-month interval. The new moon in Leo corresponds to the full moon in Leo. So in a more macro way, think about what you were really focused on, trying to bring to fruition, right? During the new moon period in Leo 6 months ago. And whatever that is, right, it is now reaching its peak at this full moon that we have today. So that's why I think it's so incredibly important to keep track of the moon cycles, right? It's really stepping into the rhythm of our energies by way of the moon's course. So the next new moon will be coming up, I believe, at the end of this month. So stay tuned for that. I'll have a video on that to assess sort of the energies for each of the signs during that period of time, so you can make the most of that new beginning of a cycle for the moon. All right. Nonetheless, I'd love to get started here. There's a lot of beautiful energy to work with. I'm already feeling it, high intensity. So let's get right to it. All right. We are moving straight up and into Virgo. And Virgo, even before I could say that I'm reading for Virgo, you guys had a card that just popped out. The 8 of Cups. Getting ready to leave a previously emotionally dissatisfying situation around. And I'm sensing it, you're like coming out from the dark, and you're like, I'm ready to do this. This situation was not satisfying for me. I am ready to do this. Ready to let it go. Ready to confront it, right? Even if it's confrontation with myself. Confrontation with my psyche, my inner psyche, right? My truth. What is my truth? Is the situation emotionally satisfying for me, right? Yes or no, being super clear with it. And I'm sensing it has to do with multiple people, right? A lot of people. It seems to be a situation, maybe a family, right? You have a lot of cups on this card, right? It's a very engaging energy, right? It's a very involved energy that involves the emotions of many people, and maybe many people in this situation are not happy or satisfied as well. Okay, now in some shape or form. Now you have popping out, yes, okay, Virgo, Seven of Swords, speaking to sort of, I'll get to it, also the Fool, both upright. Okay, you're ready for a new start. Yes, turning point, absolutely. Shifting of perception and perspective, right? You want a new beginning. You want to reinvent whatever the situation is that's not working, that's not satisfying, right? It's chaos. It's chaos of emotions. It's like throwing cups, shattered glass, that kind of feeling, right? This card. But with the Fool looking right over at it, this is the very first major arcana, right? It's like the first almost enchanting, open-minded, eager, almost like with no expectation, right? Sort of first foray into the redefining of your environment, how you see your environment, how you see yourself within your environment. Right? It's the rebirth of yourself or a situation in some shape or form. You're ready to redefine this situation in some way. You want to change your perspective towards it, and you want to change your participation in it. I'm feeling that very strongly, Virgo. Very, very, very strongly. You have the Seven of Swords that popped out as well, right beneath the Fool, right beneath this new beginning. I'm sensing that this is past energy. This is energy that previously, right, you held yourself back from maybe expressing fully, right? It seems, again, a lot of people involved, a lot of thoughts involved, a lot of opinions, viewpoints involved. But there's a certain level, a certain sense, it seems, of not speaking your entire truth about something, right? Feeling like you're holding back how you feel about a certain situation and your true personal viewpoint or opinion towards it, okay? We see on this card this fox, kind of looking out with one eye, laying over this one sword. But that one sword is pointing in exactly the opposite direction as all the other swords that are looming up above. So swords represent thoughts, communication, the written word, the spoken word with ourselves, right, in our minds, how we talk to ourselves, or the way that we talk with others, right, the way we communicate with others. So it can represent conversation, but there's a feeling of isolation with this card. In spite of the fact that it is an air card, that it is speaking to communication, I'm sensing that this is more in the recesses of your mind, your subconscious even, right? You were at odds with the communication that, or the exchange, right? Or even I'm sensing perception of a situation is so different between you and maybe a group of other people, or you and other people as a group. Okay, that was leading to, you're not on the same level, not on the same wavelength, you're not seeing eye to eye, and it's leading to emotional dissatisfaction. But you are ready to really be the bigger person, it seems. And maybe not even the bigger person, so to speak, but you're ready to take a stance that's more like rising above the petty energy. That's what I'm feeling. Rising above, okay, what doesn't work? This doesn't work. Okay, so I want to make it work, right? I want to stand above the situation, and I want to almost invite, welcome, right? A new beginning in some sort of way. Okay, even if it isn't just in terms of your perception, changing your perception and your personal contribution to the situation. Okay, your stance. I want to pull one more card for you guys, okay? Okay. This and this. Two want to come out. Wow, okay, beautiful. And the base, Father of Wands. This card might have come out for you guys in your February. This might have come out. I remember you guys had a lot of people showing up, or sort of archetypes of character-like energy in your reading, speaking to sort of a very busy, right? Busy and integrative, involved situation, probably, I'm sensing. And by the comments, it seemed that involved multiple people. Nonetheless, you have, no, I will say this, right? With the Father of Wands at the sort of base of the reading, this could be referencing, or this could regard, right? Someone who fits this archetype of the Father of Wands, somebody who is very charismatic, dynamic, is very confident, robust in the way that they wield their fire energy, so to speak, right? And so it's sort of like the salesman persona, right? That's the Father of Wands archetype, right? One who is very smooth, right? Smooth talking, but it's fire energy, right? And as we mentioned at the very beginning of this video, the manifestation of any element can be positive or it can be counterproductive, right? Having fire and channeling fire in a way that is healthy and positive, right, is good. Having a healthy sense of self-esteem, having a healthy sense of vitality, right, engaging in activities that that express our fire energy positively, right, exercise, creative, any sort of creative project. So, but then you can also have fire energy that is manifested or wielded in a way that is not truly positive for ourselves and others, right? So, right, and too much fire can lead to sort of an over expression of an overpowering feeling of one's disposition, right, or their strength in a way. I mean, that's a complicated topic, but okay. Basically, Virgo, Father of Wands, right? Upright, though. I'm sensing it's not necessarily the mismanagement of fire energy, although it could be for some of you guys. And again, this could be someone, or this could be yourself, but I'm sensing it's someone that it seems almost this whole situation is at the mercy of. That's what I'm feeling. It's almost like, you know, and the Father of Wands is not looking at the spread. He's looking in that direction. So it's almost like it's the kind of feeling of having their back turned in some way to the situation while all this communication, all this commotion is going on behind the scenes. Okay, but nonetheless, right, speaking to whether or not this is somebody who wields this fire energy in a positive way, in a constructive way, in a healthy way, or in a way that is not really in tune or in alignment with the situation, is not participating in the situation in a way that is constructive and conducive. Maybe they are too focused on their view, on their personal view, right? And they're kind of like my way or the highway a little bit, maybe. Okay, that I'm saying it could be a manifestation of that energy in this way. Somebody who is just not, again, seeing eye to eye with the situation, not overseeing the situation in a way that is properly sort of in control. I'm getting the feeling of somebody who is like in charge of a situation, so to speak, in charge, and who is like not doing his job, so to speak, right? Because like, yeah, I'm getting the feeling the Father of Wands is looking over here. The Father of Wands is not like, hey guys, what's going on? Let's figure this out. It's like Father of Wands is like, I'm gonna be over here, you know, and until you sort of decide when you want to see my viewpoint, then we'll talk. It's kind of like that kind of feeling, perhaps for some of you. All right. Nonetheless, the World upright paired with the Daughter of Swords in reverse, right beneath the Fool. You are ready to embark on a new sort of the reinvention of your environment, the reinvention of your world, so to speak. Okay, I'm sensing that you want to step into this transformative new beginning, this next step. You want the hope. You want to rekindle the hope. You want to rekindle the positivity. You want to connect everyone. There's a lot of discord here. A lot of discord. Shattered cups, 8 of cups, 7 of swords, right? Not speaking full truths, not seeing eye to eye, not communicating on a level that is clear-sighted and clear-headed. So you want to mend and meld that fragmentation, it seems, of the situation, and you're ready to step forward and into the position of doing your personal best, of how you can contribute yourself towards this new beginning that's more cohesive and more, I'm sensing, right, like spreading the love, right, instead of arguments or seeing how we don't align, right? Really coming together, stepping off of our personal pedestal, so to speak, and entering the situation that is more nurturing. Nurturing, yes, absolutely. More understanding, right? The Daughter of Swords in reverse speaks to paired with the World, and right beneath the Fool, I'm getting the feeling that you are, or rather, this situation of the world, of this greater harmonization that you're trying to achieve in some way within the situation, is characterized by the hope that there will be greater communication, that there will be softer communication, that there will be more conducive, right, means of communicating our truth, of communicating what we want to see, right? Rather than focusing on what doesn't work, what doesn't align. Focusing on, well, what do we want to bring together? What do we collectively align and connect on, right? And bringing those positive sort of points of cohesion and overlap, right, of view. Or even just the inherent desire to connect, right? To align, right? To work in unison and in harmony, right? In and of itself is what is sort of the push, right? And the point on which you want to come together and align and mend the situation, all the pieces of the situation, okay? Together. And I'm sensing it definitely has to do with communication, all right? Definitely has to do with communication. I'm sensing yes, okay? Communication is key here, and perception is as well. Everybody taking the chance to hear each other out. Everybody, like when somebody's speaking to you, look at them, right? And be open to what they are trying to communicate to us, right? Because see, the Father of Wands is a very independent energy. It's an energy that is self sort of concerned in a way, right? And I don't mean that in necessarily a negative way. Again, it could be positive, it could be negative, depending on how that energy, that fire energy is wielded. But nonetheless, especially in this spread, I'm feeling that the Father of Wands, and he's looking off in the distance, not in the direction of anything that's going on here in the spread, is almost like, right, like a single track mind almost, right? Rather than, it's very different from the World card. The World card is like all encompassing energy, right? It's bringing everything together, right? Seeing how we all are part of one. We're all one, right? Seeing that cohesion and that connectedness, the interconnectedness of ourselves, of our networks, of our family, of our group, of our friends, of the world, right, as a whole in this intercosmic existence, this galaxy, right, so to speak, or galaxies. The Fool, also, right, you can see it as an expression of independence that we kind of see with the Father of Wands in a way. But the Fool is a sort of foray into independence in such a way that is almost detached even from yourself in the hopes of embarking on a new journey, if that makes sense. It's a very interesting card. It's a very dichotic dichotomy sort of energy that's worked with in the card, wherein, right, it symbolizes a new beginning. It symbolizes stepping out on your own, presenting something, moving forward with something, even if it's risky, even if it seems a little scary, right? Stepping out, taking the charge with that new beginning, making the effort, right? With no expectation, right? With no expectation, no limitation from your past, no, not bringing the past with you into this new beginning. It's like letting go of the past, and entering this new existence and this new way of stepping into the situation and harnessing the energies of the situation in a positive way. That regards, right, the independence that you have from the past, but the alignment and the dedication and the prioritization that you make of this new future and this new beginning, if that makes sense. So it's detachment, right? And it's at the same time attachment in the sense of unity, unifying with optimism, with the future, with progress, with how you want to see things happen, right, in the future, and detachment from the way that things were done, detachment from the past, okay? Beautiful, Virgo. I'm happy to see this absolutely for you. Enjoy February. Make great use of this full moon in Leo, right? It's a point of high intensity, lots of emotions. So if you're in a situation with a lot of people, just pay mind to that, right? That it's the moon, its gravitational force is so strong that it's pulling, right? It has such an effect on water. That's why it affects the tides the way it does. Similarly, we are water. We are mostly water, right? We're made of water. So the effect you can imagine that it has on us is very strong. So just pay mind, right? There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of surmounting water and fire energy. And so channel it. Channel it by grounding. Channel it by exercising. Channel it by channeling your energy into something creative, right? That allows you to get that energy out in a healthy way, okay, in a conducive way. So I hope this was helpful for you, Virgo. Have a beautiful February. Enjoy the full moon. I suggest you to check out your ascendant rising or moon sign. Absolutely, do check it out. It provides further insight into your environment, oftentimes, into your situation, rather. I know that I always resonate a lot with my moon, more so than my sun. All right, if you don't know your rising, ascendant, or moon sign, you can click the link below in the description box that I provide. Enter in your details. Just make sure that your birth time is correct, even down to the minute, as that can change your rising, ascendant, or sometimes even your moon. All right, to play around with the numbers, it's kind of cool to get a sense for kind of who you are outside of your sun sign, right? There are so many elements to our being energetically, as we see in our planetary alignments when we're born. So take a look at that, and I hope it's helpful for you guys. All right, thank you so much again, Virgo. Enjoy February, right? Peace and love, harmony and unity to you guys. All right, bye.